If you've been around on the internet for the past couple months, you probably know about this little thing called drama. More specifically, the drama between Ethan Klein, who has been a prominent figure on YouTube for over a decade, and his former podcast co-host Hassan Piker. I'm not going to talk about the drama because I don't really care. What I do care about, however, is politics and history. Now, to be completely honest with you, I am pretty politically radical, which is how I ended up even discovering Hassan Piker. And to be quite honest, I do not even like him all that much on a personal level. His coverage often reflects a consistent analysis, grounded in reality. And just to clarify, this is not going to be a political video. This is about how you as a viewer are becoming completely uncritical because of this focus on interpersonal drama over ideological substance. And that is mostly thanks to slop tubers, or rather grifters. The whole conflict between Ethan and Hassan was mostly about the Israel-Palestine conflict. At least that is how it was initially framed. Ethan, however, made this conflict emotional and personal. Ethan understood that he cannot really fight Hassan on any political basis, because Hassan is simply far more educated in this field. We could have seen that in their podcast, where Hassan offered actual political commentary while Ethan was basically just the funny guy. We can see that in their debate as well, where Hassan tried to have an actually productive conversation while Ethan kept deflecting and trying to go back to their interpersonal drama. Like, for example, the CPS call, which we to this day don't know if anyone actually called CPS on Ethan Klein, as he has provided no evidence of this, and if it did happen, it was most likely someone from, his area, like his former housekeeper. Now, the conflict between the two is a lot more convoluted than that, but I am not going to get into it because, again, I do not really care. Because the Palestinian people are facing a genocide, and that is far more important than how Ethan feels about Hassan Piker. There is, however, a very special breed of people who think that Ethan Klein's feelings are very important. And those are slop tubers. To put it simply, a slop tuber is a content creator who prioritizes this drama over substance to farm clicks on YouTube. And you might say that this is something that has always been present. And you're right, but this matters because when the discourse shifts from actual geopolitical issues to a childish drama between two 30-year-old men, actually what's gonna happen is going to be the decontextualization of said political issues. And also the decontextualization of character of both parties involved. For example, I don't even know how many times has Ethan called Hassan a terrorist, despite there being no actual evidence, outside of like few clips taken out of context. While on the other hand, Ethan's wife, Ela, has been a member of the IDF, which, according to Ethan himself, is a terrorist organization.
Okay, so you think the IDF is a terror organization?
I said yes.
You believe the IDF is
I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Okay.
It's a terrorist organization far more dangerous than Hamas. And Ethan knows this, but the thing is, Ethan and the people he aligns himself with, they do not care about the truth. Because Ethan is a man-child who needs people to like him. But it's easier to align himself with people who are against Hassan politically, that being actual right-wingers or just people who are right-wing grifters. Which actually goes against Ethan's own ideology because he is a self-proclaimed social democrat.
I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was.
And people who Ethan actually aligns himself with have more legal trouble than Hassan ever has or ever will for his content, as Legal Mindset had to flee his own country because of a credit card debt, and on top of that he also has grooming allegations against him, as he allegedly groomed a 16-year-old girl. And if you watch his content, well, I wouldn't put it past him.
So just be understanding, if you're a guy who wants to do that, that's available to you down there. Thai women, very much like Western men, very open to it. So yeah, that's how it.
And also the streamer Tectone, who also has abuse allegations against him.
Abusive relationship.
That's why I'm leaving.
Okay, I don't like this joke anymore. I don't like this joke. Frig, I'll give you a hug.
But again, this is something that these slop tubers do not care about. Because the general political discourse is more right-leaning, which Ethan and slop tubers understand, that makes people like Hassan an easy view form. But because of this personal and emotionally driven drama, the viewers of these channels are not only becoming fucking brain rotted, but also desensitized to global events and systemic issues. And this leads to political nihilism essentially. Because slop tubers, they are politically nihilist. They do not really have any defined worldview. They just can go with what's the current mainstream echo chamber, which right now happens to be right-wing politics. This is why they go against Hassan. It's not out of their own belief, it's just so they know they can grift towards that side. They and their viewers are so uneducated that it is easier for them to get behind a simplistic narrative with the emotionally charged chant Hassan bad, rather than becoming educated on the entire issue and actually forming their own opinion. I want you to take a look at this. This is the channel of a slop tuber named Pegasus. He made over 60 videos about the Hassan Ethan thing.
Jesus. How hard?
What?
How hard to
Ethan
suck your dick that you miss him that much? His mouth must feel like a Hoover Deluxe.
Do you actually think he knows what this is all about or what it should be about really? Of course he doesn't. This is merely a grift to Ethan's fanbase. To be fair, this is not only about people who are siding with Ethan in this. Some time ago, iDubbbz revived Content Cop that he made against Ethan. But again, the video is just basically focused on their diminished friendship or whatever, and has basically no substance in the overall conflict. And Hassan also made the mistake of entertaining the drama for far too long. Quite frankly, anyone who would claim to be above politics or is not sufficiently educated on certain issues should probably just shut the fuck up about Ethan and Hassan, because first and foremost their conflict was about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. As a matter of fact, it would be far more productive to have a discussion with someone who is and the opposite of the political spectrum from me than with someone who is just a fence sitter and is just willing to go with the most popular opinion right now without having any knowledge whatsoever, because that just kills any motivation for any change. Because most of the time what Ethan is doing is just a blatant pro-Israel propaganda, and uncritically consuming that can be rather dangerous. I guess the reason I made this video is that it pisses me off how what should be the discussion of a quite literally live stream genocide of the Palestinian people by Israel turned into a YouTube drama. And I wanted to encourage you to start thinking for yourself and educate yourself and stop giving attention to slop tubers, because they do not really care about you. Unlike me, I care about you, which is why you should like and subscribe. And again, this was not made in the defense of Hassan, because as I said before, I am not the biggest fan of him, but I do value his content when it comes to politics, because I find it far more substantial than whatever Ethan and his orbiters are doing. Anyway, I won't be making any more videos about this, hopefully, because I do not really care about the drama, and I do not think I am educated enough on the political issues, at least not enough to make that type of content.